Alright, let's look at solving a rational equation. So in order to solve a rational equation, what you need to do is you need to make sure that the denominators of the two expressions in the equation are equal, right? So let's find the lowest common denominator here. So the lowest common denominator, it's as simple as just multiplying the two together. So you have x minus 12 times x plus 3, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this first expression on the left here, I'm going to multiply this by x plus 3, right? So I'm just basically creating an equivalent expression, equivalent fraction, right? So you get 2x times x plus 3 over x minus 12 times x plus 3, right? If I'm going to expand the numerator out, you don't need to worry about expanding the denominator. You get 2x squared plus 6x. If I expand it out that way, you get x minus 12 times x plus 3. I'm going to do the same thing for the expression on the right. You get negative 2 over x plus 3. I'm going to multiply this by x minus 12. Right, so that for the numerator and denominator, you get negative 2x minus 12 over x plus 3 times x minus 12. And then what you can do, because you have, if I expand this out, you get negative 2x plus 24 over x plus 3 times x minus 12. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this back into the function. So we get 2x squared plus 6x over x minus 12, x plus 3. And because this is the same denominator, I'm going to just make it one full denominator, right? It's a broad denominator for the two. And you get this is equal to 2x plus 24. Now, in order for us to solve for x, right, this is basically an expression that looks like ax squared plus bx plus c. You have to let one side equal 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these two terms to the other side. So you get 2x squared plus 6x plus 2x minus 24 is equal to 0. And if I collect the like terms, plus 8x minus 24 is equal to 0. I only have to work with the numerator, right? And in this case, if you look at solving for this, you can actually notice that there's a 2 here. So you get x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. You need two numbers that add up to 4 that multiply negative 12. So you can factor out a 6x, 2x. Right, so those are going to be your values or integers. And we get x plus 6 minus 2x plus 6. Right, and so I'm factoring this by decomposition. In this case, you get 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 6, right? So if you guys are a little rusty on this, I would really recommend you guys to go back and check out some of my factoring videos, specifically factoring trinomials in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. And in this case, you can see that therefore, right, x can be equal to 2 or negative 6. These are values of x that will make each of these factors 0, right? And we need to also understand that there is a restriction, right? There's a restriction on the denominator. We have x minus 12 and x plus 3, right? And that restriction we need to write down, because if x is equal to 12, then the denominator would be 0, and that's undefined. And it's the same idea with negative 3. So it's important to also write down our restrictions as well as our solutions to this rational equation. And that's how you can basically solve these rational equations just by basic algebra, right? So expanding, factoring, finding a common denominator, and then, solving.